To worship. Let us take this moment to become still, turning within, recognizing the only presence and the only power in the universe, God, the good omnipotence. In divine mind, love is the power that joins and binds everything in divine harmony. Love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. Love is the greatest power of all, and so it is. Our spiritual disciple for the month of February is John. The spiritual faculty is love. The color is pink. And the ministry of the month is the board of directors. Let us send love and appreciation to the board of directors for their leadership, commitment, and dedication to the growth of Verity Centre for Better Living.
Partial faces. Good morning to everyone who's listening to us on the stream. The song we want to sing now is Celebration. Feel free to snap along with us if you like. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate now. Come on, let me hear you say. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate now. Well, there's a party going on right here, a celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Come on now. Celebration. We're gonna celebrate and have a good time. It is time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! Celebrate good times, come on! Let's celebrate now. Come on, let me hear you say. Celebrate good times, come on! Come on now, let's celebrate one more time. Come on. Celebrate good times, come on!
Good morning. My name is Philomena Ashaka. We welcome you to our Sunday spiritual experience here at Verity Centre for Better Living in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Thank you for joining us this day as we activate our faith in expressing the best image of God within us. We are a Bible-based, New Thought Christian teaching ministry founded by the Reverend Evan Reed. Our senior minister is the Reverend Lemetria D. Hall. We are also a member of the Universal Foundation for Better Living, founded by the Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman. And our current president is the Reverend Dr. Sheila McKeithen. If you are joining us for the first time, it is our pleasure to greet you in the spirit of love and hope that something said or done today will make a positive difference in your life. Please know that we accept you, respect you, and appreciate you. We believe that together, as we express our best image of God in 2022, we light the path for others to live a healthy, happy, peaceful, and prosperous life. Our vision is creating and maintaining a spiritually based community that facilitates enlightenment, enrichment, and empowerment. Our mission is offering spiritually based principles and techniques to those who are seeking to live healthier, happier, and more prosperous lives. Our motto is always verifying the truth, vivifying the spirit, vitalizing the soul. We offer a full range of sacerdotal services, theological seminary classes, and life enhancement workshops. There are also opportunities to be an active part of this community. If you have any questions or need to find out more about the center, please visit our website, veritycenter.org, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We thank you for spending this time with us today. Let us affirm the opening statement together. We are one with God. We are one with all people. We are one with all life. We are one with the One. We are expressing the best image of God in us, and so it is. Here are 3 of our core beliefs. We believe that it is God's will that every individual on the face of this earth should live a healthy, happy, and prosperous life. We believe that such a life is within the reach of each one of us, and the way to its attainment begins with the realization that the kingdom of God is within us, waiting for us to bring it into expression. We believe that we can bring this kingdom forth by practicing the universal spiritual principles handed down through the ages and taught by our way shower, Jesus Christ. Today's inspirational reading is found on page 85, and it will be read by Jada from the Sunday school.
Good morning. Love is the only weapon. There are many who believe that firearms and nuclear weapons are the wave of the future. They are wrong. Love is the most powerful weapon in this universe. Love binds us one to another. It helps us to realize that nothing and no one is against us. Love reminds us that the Lord our God is one, and beside the Lord there is none other. Love is the only presence and power active in your life. You are not a stranger to this love, for it is God's love. It is not limited to time or space. This love closed the mouths of the lions as Daniel held to it as divine protection. In the face of Daniel's love, the lions became gentle as kittens. No lion trap set for Daniel could prosper when he dared to love. Love caused Mahatma Gandhi to look upon his assassin and simply say, "I forgive you." All over the world, the name Gandhi is synonymous with the word peace. When you dare to love, you become a symbol of peace for all humanity. The scriptural text is taken from Corinthians 10, verse 4. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. And so it is.
Thank you, Jada. Please listen to the announcements. The daily call to love meditation continues from Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. The link is in the weekly Verity email. To receive the phone and information, please leave a message at 416-240-1956. Join us each Sunday for a guided meditation from 10:35 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Please also send your prayer request to admin@veritycenter.org. The Lenten season begins on Ash Wednesday, which is March the 2nd. There will be a service via Zoom from 7 p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. The book that will be used during Lent is A Closer Walk with Jesus. There are 17 copies at $20 each available at the office. Please call or email to purchase your copy. Here are the March lesson titles. On Sunday, March the 6th, I am expressing my divinity. On Sunday, March 13th, I am an expression of strength. On Sunday, March 20th, I am expressing my blessings. And on Sunday, March the 27th, I am an expression of love. Verity Centre has reopened. The online viewing experience will remain the same. If you decide to attend service in person, please note, everyone is welcome regardless of vaccination status. You must register with the office each week by Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Once we reach capacity, registration will close for that week, and this is a temporary measure. Masks will be worn at all times while indoors. Everyone entering the sanctuary must sanitize their hands, and social distancing will be maintained in all areas of the church. Mervyn Jack, the brother of our member, Sherlin Jack, has made his transition in Trinidad. We send love and light to Sherlin and his family. And lastly, yesterday's laughter yoga was lots of fun and extremely enjoyable. Thanks to our coaches, Reverend Lemetria, Noreen, and our resident DJ, Laughter Sheldon, and all who participated in the session. The next session will be held on Saturday, March the 26th. Registration information will follow. This ends the announcements. Please listen to the thought for the week. The thought for this week is by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. We will now have a musical selection by the Voices of Praise.
Born free as the wind blows, as free as the grass grows, born free to follow your heart. Live free and beauty surrounds you. The world still astounds you each time you look at a star. Stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as the roaring tide, so there's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free. Stay free where no walls divide you. You're free as the roaring tide, so there's no need to hide. Born free, and life is worth living, but only worth living 'cause you're born free.
Thank you, Shemroy. Thank you, Richard. And now our lesson entitled Road to Freedom will be given by the Reverend Barbara Schreiner-Trudel.
Shamroy, you're remarkable. The road to freedom. Well, we're all born free, we know that. The road to freedom actually comes from that awareness and understanding of letting go of the past, releasing the energy within us that blocks and stops. And so the power of forgiveness is our key to freedom. It's the only way. And I know that sometimes we hold back, don't we? We sit back and go, well, you know, they did this to me, or they did that to me, or so-and-so said this, it hurt my feelings. Well, my feelings are mine and your feelings are yours, and they come from within and they're a reaction to an experience, but they're not who and what we are. And if we are holding on to the past, we are preventing ourselves from living in the now moment and moving forward and experiencing the freedom that is God ordained. See, each one of us was, in fact, born free, no question. And yet somehow through our life experience, we have decided that someone did something wrong and bad, and so we react to it. You know what the government's doing. You know what's happening, you know, this change, that change. Look at the masking things, vaccinations, oh my goodness, COVID. But all of that is just peripheral stuff. And when we go into meditation and prayer and we remember whose we are, we begin to change that energy completely. And we begin to live in that place of power and freedom that is God ordained. I wanted to share with you this morning a little poem that was written by Gerald Jampolsky in his book, Forgiveness, the Greatest Healer of All. He said, to forgive is the prescription for happiness. Anybody want some of that? A little joy. Let's celebrate. Yes, we started that way. To not forgive is the prescription to suffer. You know what the Buddhists say? Pain is inevitable. Suffering, however, is optional. Are you opting for that? No? Is it possible all pain, regardless of its cause, has some component of forgiveness in it? To hold on to vengeful thoughts, to withhold our love and compassion certainly must interfere with our health and our immune system. Imagine for a moment that healthy body. You know what happens when we get angry in traffic and we curse the driver who just cut us off? Our blood pressure is raised, our life expectancy is lowered. At Verity Centre for Better Living, we're learning to live from the consciousness of the Christ. We're learning to live from that higher place of awareness and understanding, to live from love. And as we do that, we begin to see a world that is peaceful. See, loving people don't harm others knowingly. Yeah, we sometimes say or do things that cause a little pain and discomfort, but we can take responsibility for that, and we can stop it. All right, he goes on to say, holding on to what we call justified anger. Anybody ever do that? Interferes with our experiencing the peace of God. We cannot know God, feel God, experience God, reveal God if we are holding a resentment, a justified anger, a feeling of they done it to me. Well, you know, everybody's had it done to them. Is there anybody in the house who hasn't had an experience of somebody doing something that caused you a rough day? Well, the rough day came from your own mind, your desire to be right, or your holding on to something that doesn't work. Forgiveness means no longer scratching wounds so they continue to bleed. Ooh, that's a visual, isn't it? But isn't that exactly what it's like? It's like somebody did something when I was 3 years old, and I'm remembering it today, and of course I've built some energy around it, and there, wow. It's like, wow, I can't believe my mom did that. At some point in time, we've got to let it go. We've got to remember that the consciousness of Christ is a consciousness of love. It's a consciousness of oneness. It is uniting in the idea that God is everywhere present at all times equally. So the person I'm looking at, that's God, right? I see God all over this room. God is the energy of life itself. And it requires us to be present. Remember what happened to Lot's wife when they left Sodom and Gomorrah? That's what happens when we look backwards. We're crystallized into a pillar of salt. We cannot create. We cannot move forward. We are stopped. And it's not a punishment. It is an expression of moving forward. You can't do that if you're living back there, because back there doesn't exist. We must be present in the now moment. He goes on to say, forgiveness means living and loving completely in the present, without the shadows of the past. At some point in time, we must let it go. At some point in time, we must say, you know what? Everything in life is done by people just like me. All of us are trying to do our best. I believe all of us are stepping into each day with hope for a better future, hope for a better life, hope for beauty, love, and grace and goodness. Well, God has never withheld any of that. It's all present right where we are. We were born free. We are still free unless we think we're not. Forgiveness means freedom from anger and attack thoughts. Forgiveness means letting go of all hopes for a better past. Did you know that? The past is done. Let it go. Forgiveness means not excluding your love from anyone. Okay, now this is the big one, right? Because sometimes we, meet somebody on the street who's saying, hey, give me a little change, give me a little this, give me a little that. And we might cross the street to avoid them. We might look down, pretend we're on their phone so we don't have to look them in the eye. And I had a beautiful experience last summer when I was in Calgary. A woman, my son and I were walking on the Stephen Avenue Mall, and a woman came up to me and asked for some change. And so I reached into my pocket and grabbed what I had and gave it to her and asked how her day was. And she goes, really bad. People yell at me and spit at me and treat me terrible. And I had tears in my eyes, and I thought, how can we do this to another human being? And I looked at her and I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. And she said, wow, you are so nice. And I said, but by the grace of God, I could be where you are. And I want you to remember that. When you see somebody who's down on their luck, don't kick them. Love them. What did Jesus do? Jesus loved the leper, the prostitute, the downtrodden. We are a teaching ministry, and Jesus is our way shower. Are you living the life that Jesus showed us? Are you standing in love in the most difficult moments? Are you willing to be who God created you to be? Are you willing to fill that gap inside of you that sometimes hurts? And just go into prayer and meditation knowing God is right here. God's got you. There is no place where God is not, so God's got you. God is right here. God's being me this morning, saying, come on, show up. Are you showing up? Are you loving life wherever you look? Are you loving every person regardless of their behaviors and attitudes? Are you willing to love them anyway? Because that's what Jesus did. Forgiveness means seeing the light of God in everyone regardless of their behavior. That's the challenge, isn't it? Because sometimes the behavior is a little, we don't like it. We wish it was different. Well, you cannot change anyone else, but you can change yourself, and whatever I see out here is coming from something in here. Right? If I'm passing judgment on you, well, I need to turn to look around. You know how when you point your finger, there's a whole bunch more of them looking back? See, whatever I'm thinking about is coming from me. My judgment of you comes from me, not from you. I don't know what's going on in your mind, your heart, your life, right? I only know my reaction to it. That comes from me. And today I choose to believe in God. I choose to believe in possibility. I choose to believe in the power of goodness. I choose to believe what Jesus taught. Love one another as I have loved you. Now that means when your best friend is an alcoholic and struggling and creating a terrible life, and you've got lots of judgment about that, and you decide, well, I'm going to do an intervention. I'm going to fix them. Great in theory. But all change comes from within. And if I see someone who's struggling, the very best thing I can do is love them. Create a sacred and safe space for them right where they are. Honor their experience and recognize I don't know their pain, but there is some. There's a hole that needs to be filled. And if I will love myself enough to honor their experience, then maybe they will begin to love themselves enough and heal whatever it is that they're ready to heal or change. I don't recall in the scriptures, now I may be mistaken, but I do not recall in the scriptures Jesus telling people to be different than who they are. I don't recall Jesus going up to somebody and saying, oh, excuse me, sir, you're kind of broken and flawed here. Let me show you something better. I don't recall that. I recall an energy of love and acceptance that was always present, always available. The journey to forgiveness results in absolute freedom. Anybody want to experience that? Absolute freedom, absolute joy, absolute goodness, love. That's what we're going for. The only point of power is now. In the now moment, I have the ability to create. In the now moment, I have the possibility of forgiveness. In the now moment, I can begin to think in a way that honors and respects my life and all life. I can begin in this now moment to move forward with true grace. But it's up to me. I'm the only one thinking my thoughts. And guess what? You're the only one thinking yours. Are your thoughts in alignment with this divine presence? Are your thoughts moving you forward in love and peace, or are they holding you back? Just a choice. There was a little story I came across in a book by Alan Cohen called Wisdom of the Heart. And this story's titled, Your Sacred Duty. I changed it a little bit to make it a little more gender neutral, but people of the earth family in eternity, shake your souls awake. The hour long waited for, the promised hour has come. Over the dark firmament of suffering is rising the morning star, heralding the day when you will understand what your most sacred duty is to be you. That is to manifest life, intelligence, truth, and love. There's no higher aim, no vaster problem, and you will realize this will break the fetters with which ignorance and fear have bound unconscious humanity and will stand up free and know yourself to be the eternal manifestation of the unmanifest witnesses of the absolute people of the great all whom we call God. This was an inscription on a Russian church in World War I. You see, we weren't born to suffer, we were born to shine. Although love is our nature and joy is our purpose, many of us struggle with life and how it's flowing, but that wasn't the Creator's intention. We were created perfect, whole, and complete. And then we were born, right? So here we are, these divine soul beings, just love and light, right? And then we come through this channel, screaming and wailing. And people around us are saying, shh, shh, be quiet. And then we start toddling, breaking things and knocking stuff around. And somebody's going, no, no, no. And we're touching things. We're not supposed to. No, no, don't do that. No, no, no. And we get this messaging that causes us to shrink a little bit, to take that shine, that glow, that soul energy and shrink it down so that we can be acceptable to the adults around us who need a little quiet, a little peace and quiet. But we weren't born to suffer. We were born to shine. And it's time for us to get out of the way, to stop playing small and to stand up and say, check it out. Check it out. God's right here, shining bright. Are you willing to look on that light and begin to notice that it's coming from you? We are one. We are one. We weren't born to suffer. We were born to shine. There's a great little song. I know I've shared it with you many times, but it's just such a reminder that when we love ourselves enough, we have the ability to love others. And if I love you enough, then maybe you'll have the ability to love yourself enough so you can start loving me. Right? See, I can only give what I've got. I cannot give you what I do not have. You want $1 million? Awesome. Go to the bank. I can't give you what I don't have. And so I have to have love in my heart. I have to have love in my awareness. I have to have love in my energy and vibration. I have to recognize I am one with God, not once in a while, not morning prayers, not afternoon meditation. I have to be there 24/7. I've got to love. I've got to love. I love myself so much that I could love you so much, that you could love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I could love you so much. You could love you so much. You can start loving me. Yeah, I know. Leave it to the choir. I love singing. I love singing. I gotta say, I love singing. And I think all of us should sing. I think we should sing all the time, whether you think you're good at it or not, whether you've got an off key or you're tone deaf. Singing brings joy. Just like the laughter yoga that Reverend Lemetria was teaching on Saturday, it's like that is energy of love and possibility and life, right? We laugh and we bring out our joy. We are all offspring and expressions of God. That's something separate then. God isn't up there. God isn't coming someday. God is a here and now reality within each and every one of us, and it's time for us to live from that place. Are you ready to live from that place? Are you stepping up and stepping into life going, God made me and so I am great? Yeah? Yeah? You're not hiding, you're not shy, you're not going, oh, it needs to be different. I need to be different. Somehow there's something about me that isn't quite right. Nothing that happens during the course of your worldly adventure can remove that union with God. It is guaranteed and assured. It is the truth of your reality. It is the all in the all, and there is nothing else but that. I have so many notes here today. In the Bible, in Colossians 1, verse 13, 14 from the New Revised Standard Edition, it's written, bear with one another. And if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must. You got that word, eh? Must. I'll say it again in case you missed it. Must forgive. Above all, clothe yourself with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. The only way that we create a world that works for the highest and best good of all people, not the ones I like, all people. And there will be some people we don't like very much. That doesn't mean we can't love them. Because love is that oneness. Love is that uniting force. Love is the energy of God in each one. And you know, when we say namaskar or namaste, we're saying the God in me, the Christ in me, sees the God in you, the Christ in you. There's no separation. Sure, we're keeping our 6 feet. But that is a human experience, not a divine one, because the reality is we are connected. We are connected. We're one. And so if I'm looking at you and I've got a problem with you, the problem is within me, not you. I'm the one with the issue. I'm with the one who needs to do a little soul work. A couple of weeks ago, I took a day, 24 hours in silence, prayer and meditation, and just allowing myself, without computers, books, iPhones, iPads, television, whatever. I locked myself in a hotel room for 24 hours with me, and only me. Nice part, no mask. But in that 24 hours, I came to an understanding that my body was holding what I called harm. And I thought, wow, I didn't know that. And so my prayers were about forgiveness and release. My prayers were about honoring the Christ within and allowing love to be that healing balm, that ointment that would free me. See, forgiveness is not about condoning the behavior of someone else. It's about acknowledging that whatever is tying us together, you know, when you're angry at somebody, there's a chain that you've forged between you and them, right? It's this very heavy chain. Forgiveness is a bolt cutter. As Pastor Nadia Bolz-Weber would say, it is a bolt cutter where you cut that and go, enough. What you did was so harmful to me, I refuse to accept it. And so I move on without it. In fact, her words are this: I really believe that when someone else does harm, we are connected to that mistreatment like a chain. And maybe retaliation or holding on to anger about the harm done to us doesn't actually combat evil. Maybe it feeds it. And if we're not careful, we can absorb the worst of our enemy and on some level even start to become them. Woo! Did you ever think about it that way? Because we get justified, right? You know, so-and-so said they didn't like my dress, and now I'm really angry with them. Well, didn't like my haircut. So I'm hurt. I've hurt feelings. In the moment that I hang on to that, I become it. Wow. This woman, when she said that, if we're not careful, we can absorb the worst of our enemy and on some level even start to become them. Wow. I don't think that's what we want. So what if forgiveness is a way of wielding bolt cutters and snapping the chain that links us? Like it is saying what you did was so not okay that I refuse to be connected to it anymore. I swear that is probably the most powerful statement on forgiveness I have ever heard. And this woman is interesting. You know, she's got tattoos everywhere and wears torn up jeans. And her church is called the House of Sinners and Saints. She reminded me a little bit of Jesus, you know, in a, you know, that rebellious way of knowing God so deeply and completely that there is nothing that could separate her from all that was going on around her. And I loved listening to some of what she had to say. In Colossians 2, verse 2, again from the New Revised Standard Version, it's written, I want their hearts to be encouraged and united in love, so that they may have all the riches of assured understanding and have the knowledge of God's mystery. grace of God is right here, right now. Grace of God is that energy of possibility and creativity. It is that idea of, yes, I know who I am. Each and every one of us is created unique and special. Not some of us, but all of us. And I know in our world today we're seeing discomfort and discord. We're seeing all manner of disconnection with one another. But peace happens. Peace is possible. In the Ukraine, in Russia, peace is possible right here. But peace happens, as Mahatma Gandhi would say, be the peace you wish to see in the world. It doesn't do any good for us to be peaceful when we're alone in a hotel room praying. It's nice. But I need to be peaceful when I'm in the midst of chaos and confusion. And if I could invite you to do one thing over the next, the rest of your life, I suppose. Whenever you hear the news or see something out here that's looking a little troubling, I want you to know that's a prayer request. That somewhere, somehow, we have forgotten our oneness with the divine. We have forgotten that I am one with God, that God is right here being me, and therefore I am all-powerful because God is what? Hello? Okay, where are we today? God is all-powerful. Can you say God is all-powerful? Okay, if God is all-powerful and God is being you, then you are what? Powerful. We play small, we play limited, Did Jesus do that? Jesus is our way shower. We need to go back to the scriptures, we need to go back to the stories, and we need to remind ourselves maybe that Jesus was a rebel, right? Jesus stood with the sinners and the saints. Jesus stood with all people, with love. That's what we're being called to do. We're being called to find our way, our path. We're beginning right now to say, yes, God is right here. And God is good all the time. I invite you to take that in. Remember whose you are. There is no God up there. There's no heaven and hell. They are not vacation destination points. They are states of consciousness which I am living now. And when I am in heaven, that is because I've forgiven, I've let it go. I'm standing in this moment, experiencing the grace of God right here and now. And when I'm in hell, well, I'm thinking about that thing that happened to me last month, last year, last week. What my mom did when I was 3. What my dad did when I was 6. What my teacher said to me one day. Let it go. Trivia. Leave it for the Trivial Pursuit games that you might play later. In this moment, stand. Stand for God. Stand for love. Stand for one another. And live your life in peace. Forgiveness is the road to freedom. God bless you. Namaste. I feel good. Oh, it is that time in our service when we get to bless Verity with the beauty and the bounty that we have. So I invite you to say with me our offering blessing as we take our offering both in person and online. Together, please. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And there are a few ways you can give. You can send an e-transfer to admin@veritycenter.org. You can also it through Tithely, go to the Give link and send that way. You can also mail in a check or drop off cash at 447 Vaughan Road in Toronto. Many ways to give, and all that you give is a blessing to this work, to this ministry, and to this city. To our world, in fact, because we are connected globally. Let us join together in consciousness as we close together in prayer. The infinite creative intelligence of the universe is the divine energy of life itself. And I'm filled with a sense of peace and gratitude as I feel this presence deeply, loudly. I know I'm one with God, and I know that all of us are an expression of that divine energy. So I know today's service is a gift and a blessing. The Verity Centre is truly a gift in the city of Toronto, the country of Canada, North America, and worldwide, because this love is felt, known, and realized everywhere. So I'm grateful for the gifts given, tithes and talent. I'm grateful for the time spent together and for the journey of love and light. Filled with peace, I know that all is well, and I let that be the truth. And so it is. And let us say together our closing affirmation. Together, please. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and so it is. And now, voices of praise.
Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. You broke the chains, now I can lift my hands. And I'm going to praise you. I'm going to praise you.
In the corners of my mind, I just can't seem to find the reason to believe that I can break free. 'Cause you see, I have been down for so long, feel like all hope was gone. But as I lift my hand, I understand that I should praise Him through my circumstance.
Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. You broke the chains, now I can lift my hands. And I'm going to praise you. I'm going to praise you.
Everything that could go wrong all went wrong at one time. So much pressure fell on me. I thought I was gonna lose my mind, but now I know you wanna see if I will hold on through these trials. But I need you to lift this load, 'cause I can't take it no more.
Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. You broke the chains, now I can lift my hands. And I'm going to praise you. I'm going to praise you.
Been through the fire and the rain, bound in every kind of way. God has broken every chain, so let me go right now.
Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. And I want to praise you. I just want to praise you. You broke the chains, now I can lift my hand. And I'm going to praise you. I'm going to praise you. Come on now. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. You broke the chains, now I can lift my hands. And I'm going to praise you. I'm going to praise you. One more time. Take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I just want to praise you. You broke the chains, now I can lift my hands. And I'm going to praise you. I'm going to praise you.